right. All right. All right. We're almost there. We're almost there. I got to give a shout out right out the gate. I got to give a shout out to Jessica Bailey. I got to give a shout out to Hannah Gross. I got to give a shout out to my team. We have a live event going on here in the office today and tomorrow, and they went to work. They went to work putting this place together. We've almost got a backdrop that works back here for the show. Those of you that have been watching the show, you know I've been talking about my backdrop over here. And so Jessica put this backdrop together, which is beautiful. It's just a little bit too small. I need one that's a little bit bigger. So we're almost there. But here's what I will say. These ladies came in here and they made this place look amazing. This office looks absolutely incredible for our 2-day sales accelerator event that's happening today and tomorrow. Now, I will also say the reason you see a hood over my ears and covering me up today is because they were working so hard. I know they got hot. And so they decided to turn on the AC. They switched it to cool. I'm guessing. Maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was Evan. Maybe it was Nick. Maybe it was James. You know, there was other people in the office. So I am making an assumption here. But I did talk to Jessica, and she was like, we worked so hard, we were sweating. And I'm like, all right, that's dope. And then I came in this morning, and the AC was on, not the heater. And it is currently 9 degrees outside, and it was currently 49 degrees inside when I got here 32 minutes ago. So hopefully it'll continue to warm up. We can get this hoodie off of my head this morning, but it is cold in this building. And so we're just going to take that cold. That's all right. It fits our theme. We're going to take that cold. We're going to buckle down. We're going to learn some things. We're in a new series here this week on the show. So let's dive right in. Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. Husband to 1, father to 9, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Tuesday. That's right, today is Tuesday, also known around the world as Taco Tuesday. Today is, whoa, that jumped loud. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be. First and last time it will ever be Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, and I do mean incredible day. Coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky. That's right, Lexington, Kentucky. Today it is currently 9 degrees. Real feel is less than that, but it's currently 9 degrees. We're looking at a high of 25 degrees today, so it's going to be pretty cold here in Lexington. We are definitely in the middle of winter, right? Can you believe this is the 20th already? It's crazy. Good morning, Liza. Yes, we are definitely in the middle of winter. It is definitely cold around here. I looked at the 10-day forecast. We don't have any days higher than like 30. I think 30, 31 is about as high as it's going to get. And so we are in the middle of winter. And one of the things that that is interesting about seasons like this is when we're in the winter and we're kind of cold. What's interesting about seasons like this is we can tend to like buckle down, right? Like we can tend to, in seasons like this, we can't get outside as much. Maybe we're inside a little bit more. Maybe there's a little bit more downtime. I know my kids, they're not getting out like they will in the summer and the spring. They're not getting outside so much. And so it kind of reminds me, there was a season a few years ago where we were all kind of forced inside. And during that season where we were all kind of forced into a bad situation for humanity, when we were in that particular season, you know, a lot of people buckled down and they learned new skills. They learned how to make and bake some cookies. They learned to It's really nice in North Carolina. Shush your face. We learned new skills, learned how to drum, learned an instrument, learned all kinds of things, right? And so this week, with it being really cold outside, I thought that you and I could buckle down a little bit, and we could learn probably the most important skill on the face of this planet. And it's a skill that a lot of people, they shy away from. They're afraid of the word. They want nothing to do with it. There's all these negative connotations. But ultimately, what we're going to talk about this week is how to sell. How to sell. What's up, Lamont? Congrats on your new job over there at Dan Cummins, man. I'm proud of you. How to sell. And some of you are like, I don't sell. I'm not a salesperson. Listen, here's what I need you to do. Right now, the bears are hibernating, right? Bears are hibernating. They're going into the cave. They're going to hibernate for the winter. And this is what non-champions, that's the word I'm going to use because I'm a positive person. This is what non-champions do. Non-champions are like, nah, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to pull back. I'm just going to take this winter. I'm just going to stay inside. I'm just going to kind of hide. I'm going to catch up on my TV shows. I'm going to make sure that I watch, I'm going to binge watch all my series on Netflix. And I'm just going to hang close to the vest. But the champions, the real champions are like, dude, I'm going to put on a freaking hoodie. I'm going to put on a hoodie. I'm going to put a beanie over my head. And I am going to I'm going to freaking go out there and I'm going to become better during this season. Not different, just better. I am going to become better during this season. So I need you to lock in on that because that's what we're doing here. We're extracting the champions. Who's a champion in this group? That's what I want to know. If you are a champion in this group, if you are a champion watching this show, then I need you to put the word champion down there in the comments. Just find a way. Now, some of you might be championing, so you can't type right now. I get it. Maybe you're championing. Maybe you're on a run right now out there in the 5-degree temp, so you're championing and you can't type right now. I get it. Maybe you're holding 3 babies. You're holding 3 babies and keeping them warm while you're listening to me, and you can't type right now. That's cool. I get it. Don't type champion. Don't drop a baby. Don't drop a baby to put the word champion in there. But if you can, I need you to put the word champion down there in the chat. Dude, I text messaged a bunch of my friends this morning. They're going to hate me, but I'm in a spot. I'm like, let's go. I'm done with the crying and whining. Let's go. All right. Trisha Rue says she's a champion. Tony Schmidt says she's a champion. Ramon Ray says he's a champion. Renee Hayes says she's a champion. Let's go. Wendy Reeves says she's a champion. Denny's a champion. Mary Lynn Wilkins a champion. Wes Storms a champion. Mike Larkin is a champion. Patricia Frudenberg champion. Greg Becker champion. Kevin Mashi Antonio champion. Paul Brindley champion. Let's go. Spencer Nicholson champion. Melinda Barrett champion. Let's go. Don Sankey champion. Yeah, don't drop the babies. Jim Tursky, let's go. Young Johnson, Alexander Nicole. All right, Angela, let's go. Sean Weatherby, come on. Alexandria Nicole, Valerie Stone. Speak that over yourself, man. River Scott, Susan Wall. For those of you that can't type, just say it out loud. I'm a champion. Sometimes we just have to speak these words over ourselves. I was having a conversation with my wife yesterday. I won't go into the overall details of the conversation, but I'm on 20 days. I've worked out every single day this year here in 2026. So in 2025, I worked out very frequently would be the best way to describe it. I got my body in motion every day, always doing that in some way, shape, or form, some sort of physical activity, but actually like full real deal exercise till you sweat, type workouts. I wasn't doing that every single day. Look, this picture, I went in here to pull the Facebook thing back up and look what just popped up in my feed. This is from the group right here. Look, I think that's Malika. I think that's Malika right there. Look, Malika made a post right there from Atlanta, Georgia that just popped up when I was trying to I'm trying to pull this up because it's not updating where I can see all your comments and whatnot. Okay, there we go. So I got it. I got it back. Go ahead and hit that share button, by the way. Hit the share button, tag some friends. So I'm having this conversation with my wife. I've worked out intensely every day so far this year. And my wife, she said something. She said, honey, I've seen you, start things and have a lot of energy towards things. And she's, because I do that. I'm a visionary. I start lots of different things. She's like, so I'm not impressed because you went to the gym every day for 20 days. She said, I'm not impressed by that yet. I'm like 20 days. Okay. I've seen you do some things before for longer than 20 days. She's like, there are things that you have stuck with, doing morning shows and being a champion and being a great dad and so on and so forth. And she said, but I'm not impressed yet at 20 days. And I said, listen, honey, it's different. She said, why is it different? I said, because this is my identity now. I have made an identity shift. Like it's an identity thing. I'm 48 years old now. I'm 699 days away from being 50. I need to create now the habit that I want later, right? I need to create now the habit that is going to take me to my 80s. The habit that's going to take me to my 90s, the habit that's going to take me to 100 and keep me, in the game. I got young babies now. And so all of that to say, when it comes to being a champion, man, sometimes we got to speak those things and breathe those words to ourselves, even though maybe history shows something a little bit different. You and I are committed to being better. We're committed to being better. And so this is the season we're in. We're in champion season. You're a champion because you're here with me. So let's do a little bit of dancing, and then we're going to talk about this thing called sales and why it's so important to you. Does that sound fair? I can't hear that. Let's go. Dude, that is so funky. I love it. All right, for those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button. Turn that down a bit. You guys. Here we go. This is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right? Because I believe if we change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you, yes, you, to hit that share button. So if you haven't done that already, do it now. This is also part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Kevin Masciantonio? Great to see you. Pastor Jeff is in the building. Great to see you, Pastor Jeff. Jim Tursky, what up, what up, what up, what up? Melinda Bear is in the building. Tanya Robinson is in the building. Marilyn Wilkett is in the building. Let's go. Robin Wilshans, good morning. Liza Myers Borges is in the building. Let's go. Trisha Rue, come on now. Greg Becker. Let's go, let's go. Denny Rust is in the building. Sean Weatherby is in the building. Danielle Baldwin is in the building. Malika Star, what up? In the building. GA is up in here. What's up, GA? Great to see you. All my friends over there on Clubhouse. Great to see you all this morning. Spencer Nicholson is in the building. My replay watchers. I don't know if you guys saw, I made a post. Numbers are way up around here, which I love. Numbers are way up around here. Let's go. Climb it. I don't have Jessica Bailey numbers, though. She's got a post on TikTok, I think just cracked 2.5 million views or something. She's popping off. Eileen Mitnick is in the building. Good morning, Eileen. How you doing, West Storm? Great to see you. Tony Robinson, Greg Becker, Samantha Starr, Tony Thorstad, Rich Pintrick, Paul Brenley, all my folks up in here. I appreciate you guys all being here. Let's go. Hey, if you haven't joined our group, make sure you join our Facebook group, 800% Life. This group is growing. We just cracked 2,000 members in the first 15 days of this group being open. What's up, Jeremy Nowling? Great to see you. We just cracked 2,000 members. This is where we're going to be posting future events. We've got ambassadors that are coming out, and we're going to be doing local meetups and hikes and, all types of different things that are going to be happening. So make sure you join the group. Also, we do have a new Morning 5 app. That app you can download at m5.800%.life, m5.800%.life. Make sure you download that app and get your points on. All right. You are going to be able to use points. Here's how cool this is. And how dope is your friend Glenn Lundy? Let's just start there. How dope is your friend Glenn Lundy? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you to change the way you start your day. And then if you do change the way you start your day and you do 5 simple steps, don't hit the snooze button. Don't touch your phone first thing in the morning. Write down your gratitude and goals. Take care of yourself physically and send out an encouraging message. I'm not asking you to do 75 hard. I'm not telling you that you got to do 2 workouts a day and drink 50 gallons of water and read 7,000 pages of the Bible every day. No, I'm just saying, hey, write down your gratitude and goals, man. Spend a little time in gratitude. Don't freaking hit the snooze button, right? Stay off your phone for freaking 45 minutes, right? If you do these things, take care of yourself physically, send out an encouraging message. If you do these things, I'm going to allow you to take your points in your app on your honor. This is an honor system too, by the way. You just go in and you're like, yep, I did it. If you want to lie, you can lie. I don't care. You'll be lying to yourself. But if you want to lie, you can lie. But in the app, you put in that you did this little simple thing, and then you get points. And then I'm going to let you use those points to get dope hoodies. I'm going to let you use those points to get gym bags. I'm going to let you use those points to get water bottles. I'm going to let you use those points to get hats and T-shirts. I'm going to how dope is that? Who does that? Who says, hey, by you bettering yourself, I'm going to reward you by just giving you free stuff? Nobody, man. Ain't nobody doing that. So listen, if you haven't done it, go download the app, m5.800%.life. Come join us. There's just over 300 people. I think 309 people in there right now getting after it every day. We just launched it 15 days ago as well. It's not even in the App Store yet. It's not. It'll be in the App Store and all that stuff next month. You guys are all in the you're in the beta version. So jump on in here. All right, cool. Enough about all that. How to sell. All right, cool. So yesterday we talked a little bit about this. We talked about how sales is everywhere. What's up, David Baker? We talked about how sales is everywhere. All right, it literally is everywhere, all around you, all the time. Sales is shaping relationships. It's shaping the culture of our society and other societies. It's shaping history and humanity. Sales is literally an aspect of every single piece of our life. Around here on Rise and Grind, we talk about 8 pillars of life: faith, family, friends, fitness, finances, our careers, our education, and our mental health. Sales permeates its way into every single aspect of all 8 of those pillars. So if that's the case, which it is, we have to ask ourselves, well, where did it start, man? If this sales thing has permeated its way into literally every aspect of life, where did it start? Some people might think, well, it started with money. We needed to exchange money. Or some other people might say, well, somebody had a product and somebody else wanted to buy it, so they sold them on a product. Or some people probably think, well, sales is attached to business, and so it must have, maybe somebody started a business. Maybe they started, putting horseshoes on the bottom of horses' feet so that they could live longer. I don't know. But the reality is, sales started long before any of that. Sales started long before there was money, long before there were products. Sales did not start with business. It's got nothing to do with business, actually. You see, before there were things to buy and ways to buy it, people were sold on ideas. You see, before there were any transactions, there was something called persuasion. Before there were businesses, there was belief that needed to be transferred. So let's slow this down. Let's back it up just a little bit. Sales did not begin in a marketplace. It began around a fire, or like Wes said, if you want to go all the way back, Adam and Eve days. But sales began around a fire. It began on a road. It began in a moment of uncertainty, in a conversation. You see, sales is not modern. This is not a modern thing. Sales is human. Plain and simple, sales is human. From the moment you are born, from the very moment that you were born, you are selling your parents on feeding you and keeping you dry and keeping you alive through your tears, your cries, and your wails. From the moment you're born, you're selling. It's human. I mean, just think about it, man. The earliest humans, right? The earliest humans, as we kind of know it, if you believe in the caveman thing, I don't know, sometimes it's questionable. But anyways, imagine the earliest humans as science says it. They had no language as we know it. They had no data. They had no proof. They had no studies to show. All they had, literally all they had, was fear, hunger, and danger. That's it. Fear, hunger, danger. One human then looks at another without saying any words. Right? One of these humans looks at another human and basically persuades them to come into the cave. Persuades them to stay near the fire. Persuades them to follow me. Maybe it's a dad persuading the kids, this is where we'll be safe. Maybe it's the mom persuading the dad, yo, come on, this is where you'll be warm. That was a sale. That persuasion that this is the safe place, this is the right foods that we can eat, all of that was a sale. It wasn't manipulation. Sales is not manipulation, by the way. Manipulation can be used in sales. It's not the right way. Sales is not pressure. There was no pressure. Hey, come, you have to stand by the fire. No, it was like, bro, you're cold, and let me show you what can make you warm. It was all survival. You see, sales started as convincing someone that your way of doing things was going to keep them alive. That's how sales started. And there's ever so much evidence of this, right? Like, let me take you to the most influential sale that's ever happened in the history of humanity. You ready? Most influential sale ever made. And this sale was made without an army of people to promote it. This sale was made with no advertising budget to promote it. There was no social media to promote it. And there was no credibility. In the traditional sense that we look for today, there were no receipts. The greatest sale ever made. There were no receipts. There was just a carpenter. There was a carpenter walking around on dusty roads from city to city, telling people something radical. There was this guy named Jesus, and Jesus didn't sell a product, man. There was no product to sell. What Jesus sold was hope. Jesus sold forgiveness. Jesus sold love. Jesus sold redemption. Jesus sold a future that was bigger than their current pain. And he wasn't doing it. He wasn't like selling it through proof. He was selling it through meaning. And what I mean by that is he was selling it through what did it mean to them. You see, the greatest sale in history didn't lead with evidence. It simply led with purpose. It led with purpose. So I want you to think about this, right? No billboards, no email campaigns, no incentives, and yet the message spread across continents, and it spread across 2,000 years of civilization. Across all cultures all around the world. Why? Why? Well, I believe it's because when people are hurting, they don't buy facts, they buy hope. So listen, if you haven't already taken a note, here's your first big note when it comes to sales. You ready? Sales is not about convincing people that you or your product is right. Sales is about convincing people that there's a better way forward. You see, interestingly enough, a great mentor of mine, he told me something really powerful. He said, hey, Glenn, people buy when value exceeds price. Simple as that. People buy when value exceeds price, when the value, the potential, the future outcome exceeds the price. How does a person that allowed themselves to get to 700 pounds, how does that person all of a sudden go on a journey to where they go from 700 pounds to 200 pounds? How does that happen? Well, it happens because at some point they realize the value of their life, the value of their health exceeds the price they're going to have to pay of eating right, going to the gym, et cetera, et cetera. How is it, and we see this all the time, and please, somebody might get offended by this, but how is it that you see the single 70 or 80-year-old guy that all of a sudden he's got the 20-year-old girl on his arm, right? And we're all like disgusted by this whole thing. Well, he sold her that the value exceeds the price, that what he has to offer her in the future will exceed the price that she has to pay dealing with his wrinkly rear end today. You see, people buy when value exceeds price. Whether it's your product, whether it's your coaching, whether it's your consulting, whether it's your idea that you want to have tacos every Tuesday with your grandkids. You see, every Tuesday we load up, and loading up all of our family and moving across the city is not always the easiest thing to do, right? It's not always the easiest thing to do, but Grandma adds so much value. She had so much value because whenever we go to Grandma's house, she lets us kind of sit on the couch and zone out a little bit. And she gives the kids baths, and Grandpa makes us tacos. And the value of going to Grandma's house on every Tuesday night exceeds the price of loading up all the kids in the car seats and all the things. People buy when value exceeds price. You have to know this. You see, most people think sales is about talking, persuading, closing, convincing. But the truth is, sales is about alignment. That's it. Sales is about alignment. When what you believe lines up with what they need, the sale is almost effortless. I'm going to say that again one more time for the people in the back. When what you believe lines up with what they need, the sale is almost effortless. So if that's true, which it is, then let me tell you when sales fails. Sales fails when it's selfish. If you are selling about you, I want to sell so I can make some more money. I want you to buy my product so I can make some more money. I want you to buy my car. I want you to buy my coaching. I want you to buy my thing. I want you to follow my whatever, right? Like if it's about you, if it's selfish in intention, you will not be successful in sales. Period. If it is about you, you will not be successful in sales. Sales only succeeds when it's service to another. Listen, you didn't marry your spouse by accident. You sold your spouse on this idea that they could trust you. You sold your spouse on this idea that there would be safety in a life with you. You sold your spouse on a vision for a future that you guys will have together. You sold your spouse on a future. You didn't get that job because of your resume. You got that job because you sold them on the idea that you were confident, on the idea that you were competent, on the idea that you had the character they need. Listen, every major decision in your life was preceded by a sale, like it or not. And here's what a lot of people don't like to hear, and we're going to wrap this up for today, and we're going to continue this series this week, and I'm going to give you all the different pieces that you need to know to be the greatest salesperson on planet Earth. But here's the part that most people do not like to hear. You are selling something all of the time, even when you're not trying to. You are selling with your attitude and how you show up every single day. You are selling with your energy. Whether you bring it or don't bring it, sells. You are selling with your values. You are selling with your beliefs. You are selling with the standards with which you hold yourself. And people are buying. Whatever it is you are putting out in the world, people are buying. They're buying what it is you're selling. And why this is concerning is because you might be selling something you don't want people to buy. Like you might be selling people on the idea that you're selfish. You might be selling people on the idea that you're greedy. You might be selling people on the idea that you are negative. You might be selling people on the idea that you're a bad word that we won't use this morning. You might be selling people, you know how they say resting whatever face, you know what I'm saying? Like this lady yesterday was upset because people kept calling and asking if they were open for Martin Luther King Day. And I was standing in front of her and somebody else called and she answered the phone and they said, "Hey, are you open for Martin Luther King Day?" And she said, "Well, I answered the phone, didn't I? I probably wouldn't answer the phone if we weren't open." And I thought, oh, that lady's selling. If the owner of this business knew that that's how she was answering the phone, my guess is she'd be selling somewhere else. So here's the truth that I want you to sit with today. Sales is not a skill that you learn. It is a force with which you live. The question isn't, what are you selling? Like the question isn't, are you a good salesperson, right? That's not a question. Are you a good salesperson or not? It's not a question at all. It's, what are you selling people on? What are you selling people on? Ladies and gentlemen, My name is Glenn, and I'm your friend. I believe in you so much. You and I are children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, and that God made you and I to be the absolute best versions of ourselves we could possibly be. Not average versions, not a little bit above average, not a little bit below, but the absolute best versions of ourselves we can possibly be. And I don't know if anybody's told you this today or not, but I want you to know and understand that I love you. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. And it's because I love you. I will always tell you the truth. And the truth of the matter is, if the results that you are getting in your life are not the results that you want, you are selling yourself and others on an idea and a concept that ultimately doesn't serve you. So let's work on shifting that to where we don't become selfish, but we ultimately become selfless. Let's shift from serving self to serving others. And as we make that shift in our identity, that will take more than 20 days, like my wife said, as we make that shift in our identity, let's do it with love and purpose in our hearts. And I promise you, it will transform every aspect of your life. Does that sound fair? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again right here on #RiseAndGrind. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you haven't shared this out yet, share it out. If you didn't drop a comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. And I am going to hang out on Clubhouse today on my way over to the gym. So if you guys want to hang out, you got any questions, anything you want to talk about, any takeaways, go to Clubhouse. Join us in the Breakfast with Champions room. I'm going to go hang out there for just a little bit before I get my workout on. Fair? Fair.